that webtoons these days are so boring. His black-haired friend comments that they always depict some loser getting stronger. The brown-haired guy agrees, adding that it always revolves around school violence, which is absurd nowadays. Chang Dong-choi asserts that it's because all these authors are old, and school bullies were only prevalent when they were students. For some reason, they think bullies are still ubiquitous today. He nods in agreement and asks Seo-hyun Kim if he is keeping watch properly. Seo-hyun Kim stands near the wall, scanning the other side to check if anyone is approaching. He turns and confirms that he is and wonders, how is this not considered bullying? Chang Dong-choi approaches, grabs his neck, and demands an end to school violence. Seo-hyun Kim screams and pleads for him to stop. Chang Dong-choi throws him on the ground and remarks that he guesses it's not ending. The brown-haired boy responds with a nope and suggests they leave. They all move from there, and Chang Dong-choi asks if the coin stocks are rising. Seo-hyun Kim lies on the ground and contemplates that he can try yelling out that tired old slogan as much as he'd like, but no one ever shows up to actually do anything about it. He wonders where it all started to go wrong and why he has to live like this. He reflects that these days, webtoons and web novels are always about getting quests, receiving rewards, and growing stronger like characters do in video games. He wishes he could do that too, and calls out for the quest window again and again with a full voice. After a while, Seo-hyun Kim sits near the wall and remarks, but that will never happen, thinking to himself of course it won't. He states that this is not a web novel, there is no way something like that would appear out of nowhere. Suddenly, the quest window appears in front of him, and the system notifies him that the quest window has been activated. He is surprised to see this and asks, what the heck is this? The quest window asks if he would like to begin the quest. He thinks to himself that from that moment on, his life begins to change. Later, he sits in the classroom and reflects that there are two types of people in the world, the popular kids and the loners. He believes that if one is outgoing and active, they are considered a popular kid, while if one is shy and introverted, they are labeled a loner. He contemplates that the terms popular kid and loner have replaced the terms bullies and losers, a change for which he is thankful. He prefers being called a loner over a loser, but something interesting happens. He calls the quest window, and it appears in front of him. The quest window asks if he would like to begin the quest. He, a loner like himself, unsure whether he is dreaming or awake, continues to toggle the window on and off during class. After doing this about 300 times, he realizes that, no matter how unbelievable the whole thing seems, he cannot help but believe that this is real. He ponders what beginning the quest means. He moves his finger to click yes and wonders if he just needs to press the button. Suddenly, Karen Beat comes in his way and his finger presses on his belly. He is shocked to see this. She says this is sexual harassment. He explains that there was actually a quest window. She slaps him and calls him a creepy little nerd. While sitting in her seat, she tells him to go to the school snack shop for her. He asks about the snack shop. She confirms that she is craving a sandwich. He asks why she doesn't go get it herself. She responds by saying he knows how great her legs look, and thanks to these legs, she has 200,000 Instagram followers, and he knows that. She asks if she were to trip and fall on her way to the snack shop, whether he would take responsibility for her injuries. He thinks there is no point in trying to argue with her and says okay, he will be right back. She responds, great, he is such a nice guy. He asks about the money. She says he must be joking and abuses him, saying it'll be his treat. He moves from there and thinks this is the kind of person he is, too scared to speak out against injustices like this. Just then, Chang Dong-choi arrives, grabs him by the neck, and demands an end to school violence. Seo-hyun Kim thinks he is pathetic. He is thrown to the floor, and Chang Dong-choi asks if he is okay. Seo-hyun Kim responds with a trembling voice, ending the school violence. Chang Dong-choi remarks that he should have said that before he got punched and adds that he knows he is just messing with him. Seo-hyun Kim agrees. Chang Dong-choi taps him on the head and sincerely says he is such a nice guy. Seo-hyun Kim thinks to himself that just wait. One day, after he has become successful, he is going to expose them all as bullies and apologize. He leaves there with his gang. After a while, Seo-hyun Kim is at home and tells her mother, seriously, let him drop out of school. She thinks that she's the only person he can talk back to. He expresses that he's not learning anything in school and would rather drop out to start being a YouTuber. She stands in the kitchen, cutting vegetables, and tells him not to make her laugh about dropping out of school. He argues that school is nothing but a waste of time and questions what will happen if he goes to college. He predicts he'll just end up with some mediocre white-collar job. She warns him, holding a knife, that if he doesn't quiet down, she might do something she'll regret. He insists he can make it as a YouTuber. His sister, Da-hyun, lies on the sofa, laughing, and calls him a jackass, questioning if he thinks this will become a viral hit. He tells her to shut up. She challenges him to make her. He storms off to his room, slamming the door, and claims it was the wind, not him. His mother admonishes him not to go around slamming doors in the house. He insists it was the wind, not him. He lies sadly on his bed, pondering why he is like this. He admits he's too scared to even stand up for himself at school and calls the Quest window again. Alone in his room, he wonders if he pressed the button properly and presses it again. He figures he can test it out to his heart's content. The Quest window notifies him that it's initializing the Quest system, and once he completes a quest, he will receive a card. He wonders what kind of quest he's starting and realizes he'll get a card if he completes it. The Quest window informs him that the tutorial quest is being generated, apologized to his mom, with the reward being 1 gold card. He questions if apologizing to his mom is a quest, and if once he does that, they will give him this gold card thing, and if it's gold, maybe he can sell it. The Quest window notifies him that he may receive the following cards as rewards in ascending order: bronze, silver, and gold. He acknowledges that's all fine and good, but wonders if he can sell the gold card or not. He emerges from his room and apologizes for yelling at her earlier, thinking he'll just give it a try. He explains he didn't mean to. He just got a bit worked up while talking to her. He wonders how long he needs to keep going and apologizes again. Da-hyun remarks that he sounds like he's finally gone off the deep end and suggests they should get him checked out. He wonders if this is good enough. The Quest window notifies him that the tutorial quest is complete, and as a special reward for completing it, he receives a gold card. He realizes he did it. He returns to his room, sits on the bed, and asks if he has got a gold card. He reasons that if it's a card, he should be able to sell it for at least 10,000 won. He notices the Quest window and asks how he can get it, and if he needs to say claim card. He then says claim card. The Quest window notifies him that he has claimed the gold card. His room starts to sparkle, and a gold card appears in front of him. It reads, "One-time use card, grow 1-2 inches. He realizes he will grow 1-2 inches taller, and this card will disappear once used. The Quest window asks if he would like to use the card. He confirms, saying use the card. The Quest window notifies him that he has used the grow card. He emerges from the room, calling for his mom, grabs Da-hyun by the neck, and exclaims that he's grown 1-2 inches taller. She asks what he's talking about and threatens to call the police. He explained that he measured his height yesterday and he was 5'5", but now he's grown 1-2 inches, so he's over 5'6". He finds this amazing. The Quest window notifies him that the number of available cards is 0. He expresses how glad he is that he apologized to his mom and believes this is real. His mother passes by him and apologizes too, asking him to have a seat because it's time for dinner. He reflects that at school he's always apologizing, but this is the first time he's apologized to his mom and agrees to sit for dinner. The next day, he arrives at school happily, thinking he is taller. A student asks why Sehyeon has that weird look on his face. Another student remarks that he seems to be in a good mood. He believes he has gotten taller and finally crossed over 5'6", feeling the air is different up there. A girl interjects, asking what's going on. The other student mentioned that he seemed a little taller than before. She speculates he probably just has lifts in his shoes. The other girl disagrees, pointing out that he's wearing slippers and looks at him, asserting he's taller. He attributes it all to the quest and wonders why the quest window isn't popping up today. He realizes he needs to complete another quest to get a card. The quest window notifies him that it's generating a tutorial quest, with the rewards for completing it being 1 gold card and 1 silver card. He reflects on receiving another gold card and a silver card on top of that, considering it generous, especially given how easy these quests are. The quest window notifies him of the next quest. Kiss Karen Beek, with rewards of 1 gold card and 1 silver card. Karen Beek tells him to watch where he's going. He realizes the second quest is to kiss Karen Beek and remembers her asking if he has a death wish. She is about to slap him and threatens to beat his ass. He wonders if she is kidding him. There's no way he'd ever be able to kiss her. Then she stops and mentions she heard a rumor that guys are getting hit by her. He thinks it will never happen. She moves away and says she is not going to hit him. He thinks this quest is impossible. How could they give him such a ridiculous quest? He says to abandon the quest and decides to give up on this quest and get a new one. The quest window warns him. He wonders what this warning is about. The quest window notifies him that once a quest is abandoned, all rewards are forfeited and quest windows will never appear again, asking if he would still like to abandon the quest. He stands in the hallway, lamenting that this is not fair. A girl tells him to stop blocking the hallway. A boy asks what the hell is wrong with him. He realizes he wasn't aware of this. If he gives up on this quest, he will shrink back down to 5 feet 5. Another girl sees him and asks what he is doing. The short-haired girl remarks that it looks like he's touching something. She calls him a creep, and the other girl agrees, saying it's disgusting. He realizes not only that, but he will never get another quest. The quest window notifies him of the next quest. Kiss Karen Beak with rewards of 1 gold card and 1 silver card, and the deadline is before school ends. He thinks he can't give up. There's no way he is going back to being that small, and he will give it a try. After a while, he sits in the classroom and thinks it's impossible. He said he'd give it a try, but there's just no way. They are not even dating. He wonders how he could kiss her and blurts out loudly a kiss. He reflects that it's not like he'd ever be able to date Karen Beak in the first place, and she might try to slap him to death just for asking her out, let alone for kissing her by force. He repeats a kiss aloud, thinking there's no way he could do that. Kyuja asks if he wants a kiss. Startled, he asks if Kyuja is serious. Kyuja replies that he doesn't mind kissing him. He exclaims, saying he scared him and asking what happened to his face. Kyuja explains that he got beat up by the bullies. She questions why he would say something like that with such seriousness and remarks, "It's funny how he looks like he'd be one heck of a fighter, yet he goes around getting beat up all the time just like him." Kyuja admits he also thought he'd be stronger. Sehyun Kim tells him to stop speaking so seriously. Kyuja asks why he keeps muttering about a kiss, finding it very suspicious, especially since he's right beside him. Sehyun Kim wonders what he would do if someone gave him a mission that he had to complete, and it was to kiss a girl. He asks what he would do in that situation. Kyuja suggests that if he asks the girl really nicely, she might let him. Sehyun Kim disagrees, saying she would not. He proposes trying something like the Free Hugs campaign, but with kisses. Sehyun Kim says there's no way that would work, especially not for guys like them. He suggests offering her money instead. Sehyun Kim declares he's a genius. A kiss is basically just 2 people's lips touching, and everybody likes money, so all he'd need to do is pay the girl. He asks how much cash he has and if he can lend him some. He states he will pay her to kiss him. Kyuja reaches for his wallet and says he's got him covered, adding that he can't believe they legitimately thought that was a good idea for a minute. He apologizes, recognizing that suggesting such a thing was terrible. Sehyun Kim agrees, acknowledging they were both wrong for entertaining that notion. He points out that to kiss a girl, he wouldn't need to be alone with her, and asserts that guys like them never get such an opportunity. Sehyun Kim reflects that Kyuja's right about that. There's no way he'd ever get a chance to be alone with Karen Beak. He considers the possibility during gym class because Karen Beak always claims she's sick during gym class so that she can skip it. After a while, Karen Beak awakens in the classroom and asks what the hell is going on. She sees Sehyun Kim in the classroom and asks why he is not in gym class. He thinks she's awake and he is alone with her, so now what does he do? He says he was not feeling well. She asks if he is watching her sleeping. He denies it, saying he was not. She teases him, saying he is screwed, he is going to tell everyone, he little creep. He stands up and repeats that he said he was not. She reassures him, calling him a moron and saying she's kidding, adding what a lame ass. She then asks if he is not busy and tells him to go get her a carton of strawberry milk. He says he already got one. She questions what he said. He repeats that he already got her one and sees the strawberry milk on her desk. He thinks about whether the first step would be to date Karen. She asks when he bought this and compliments him on being a good little minion. He thinks about how kissing happens between 2 people who are in a relationship and considers the likelihood of Karen secretly having feelings for him, which he concludes is obviously 0. He realizes he can't waste any more time thinking this over, and if he does not try something now, he won't be able to complete this quest. He goes near her and grabs the strawberry milk. She asks what the hell he is doing. He starts drinking and thinks, let's do this, and asks if she has ever kissed anyone. He knows he can't just give up without even attempting the quest. She questions if she has kissed anyone and warns him that if he does not cut the crap, the only thing he will be kissing is the floor of a jail cell. He realizes that of course that wouldn't work and says it was just a joke, and he was just curious, that's all. He thinks he failed the quest. Just then, Changdong Choi stands aside, holding his phone with his boys, and asks if he wants them to kiss him. He starts laughing. They surround him, and he asks what the hell that was if they heard that. Changdong Choi asks if he likes Karen Beek. He announces to everyone that Seohyun Kim has a crush on Karen Beek and that he gets off on being embarrassed. He denies it, saying that's not it, and asks why he recorded that. He repeats that he told him that's not it, delete it seriously. Changdong Choi retorts, but it's so funny. He screams at him to delete it. Changdong Choi punches him in the face, says it's just a joke, and asks if what he said to Karen was a joke too. He asks if they are not allowed to make a joke, and if he does not want to joke around with them. He asks why he doesn't want them to joke around with him. He slaps him and says they want to be his friends too, that's all. He repeatedly slaps him and says he said they want to be his friends too. Seohyun Kim's glasses break and fall on the floor. He demands an answer and is about to slap him again. Karen Beek catches his hand and says to cut it out. She is sure he got the message and deleted that video too. Changdong Choi salutes and says of course Karen's word is law. Then Changdong will now be stepping out for a smoke. He tells the others to let's go guys, they'd never do that to her. The brown-haired boy says they did not record anything in the first place. Changdong Choi tells Seohyun Kim to let's have a proper chat later. She tells Seohyun Kim to just go home early, idiot. If he stays in school, they will beat him all day. After a while, he sits in his room, crying, and says he failed. He just got beat up and ended up coming home early. He wonders why he even bothered trying. He thinks if he had just given up, at least he would not have been beaten up. What's going to happen to him at school from now on? Changdong was really pissed off today. He wonders how he'll explain the glasses to mom. He has already used the fell down the stairs excuse with her once. So he ended up failing the quest, and he will shrink back to 5 feet 5. He lies down and says everything's blurry, thinking he is glad to have had the chance to enjoy the extra height. The quest window notifies that the quest is complete. Meanwhile, in class, Karen Beek picks up the strawberry milk and remarks that she forgot about it. She wonders why that moron was going on about a kiss and asserts that no, he has never done it. She starts drinking and then realizes that this is the same straw Seohyun used. Meanwhile, Seohyun Kim's room lights up and sparkles. The quest window notifies him that he has received the rewards, a gold card and a silver card. He considers how the quest was completed and decides to claim it. He thinks that whatever it does, it doesn't matter, and instructs to claim the cards. The quest window confirms that he has claimed the gold card and the silver card. He contemplates that since he got his rewards, the first gold card made him taller, and he wonders what this card will do. Surprised, he exclaims, "This is amazing." The quest screen displays the gold card, indicating that it is a one-time use card. It states that upon use, the holder will have their vision restored to 20/20, and the card will disappear thereafter. The quest window prompts him to decide whether he wants to use the card. He considers that it might be for his vision this time and chooses to use the card. The quest window confirms that he has used the Seen the Light card. He observes his hand clearly, chuckles, and remarks that these quests are the best and quite remarkable. He speculates that he may have also obtained a silver card, wondering about its effects, although he assumes it won't be as beneficial as the gold card, likely just a claim card. The quest window informs him that he has indeed claimed the silver card. He identifies it as such and ponders whether it constitutes a truly rewarding prize. He excitedly leaps up, exits the room, and informs his mom about his improved eyesight. Dahyun tells him to be quiet and come eat dinner. He settles into his chair and asks where his mom is. She explained that she had to work late at night. He inquires if she prepared dinner for him. She mentions that it's a wish come true, as mom prepared dinner for them before heading to work. She instructs him to cease talking as his breath is unpleasant. He retorts that her own breath is equally disagreeable. She dismisses his retort as a feeble comeback. He remarks on her annoyance. Upon observing his face, she inquires if he has been in a scuffle. He explains that he was merely engaging in playful banter with his friends. She chuckles and expresses disbelief, asserting that he must have indeed been in a fight. He insists that her older brother doesn't go around getting into fights. She rebuts, dismissing the notion of him lording his age over her, and questions the whereabouts of his glasses. He explains that his vision has improved. Skeptical, she urges him to stop deceiving her. He maintains that he's not lying, attributing his improved vision to forces beyond her understanding. Dismissing the notion of him lording his age over her, and questions the whereabouts of his glasses. He explains that his vision has improved. Skeptical, she urges him to stop deceiving her. He maintains that he's not lying, attributing his improved vision to forces beyond her understanding. She brushes off his explanation, stating that regardless if he ever sees her at school, he shouldn't speak to her. He queries the reason for this directive. She retorts, questioning why he thinks so, and remarks that it's because he's embarrassed. Explanation, stating that regardless if he ever sees her at school, he shouldn't speak to her. He queries the reason for this directive. She retorts, questioning why he thinks so, and remarks that it's because he's embarrassed. After some time, Chang Dong-choi confronts him at school and mentions that their classmate Sehyun attended school that day. He questions if he has the courage to show up. The black-haired boy suggests that Sehyun likely believes he's weak. The brown-haired boy agrees with this assessment. Chang Dong-choi grabs him by the head and asserts that he can't allow that behavior to continue. He mentions that the bell is about to ring and suggests they finish and leave. The other boy agrees, stating they should depart. Another student in the class observes them assaulting Sehyun Kim. Chang Dong-choi instructs Sehyun to meet him behind the school building at lunchtime and warns him not to eat beforehand, as he'll likely vomit it all out. He emphasizes that it's Sehyun's fault for angering him, so he should be prepared for whatever consequences he faces. His friend joins in laughter. Sehyun Kim moves to take his seat. Kyu Jae-ya apologizes, stating that he is sorry. Sehyun Kim questions why he would apologize. He wonders if Kyu Jae-ya believes that trying to intervene would result in him getting beaten up as well. Sehyun reminds Kyu Jae-ya of their agreement not to intervene when someone else is being attacked. However, Kyu Jae-ya expressed concern that the situation had escalated too much that day. Sehyun brushes off the concern, saying whatever, and queries why Kyu Jae-ya had asked Karen Beek if she had ever kissed anyone. He jokingly asks if Kyu Jae-ya desires to be kissed. Sehyun Kim clarifies that he doesn't want to be kissed by Kyu Jae-ya and announces his intention to take a nap. He reflects on his situation, feeling pathetic and questioning why his life is like this. After a while, Chang Dong-choi lights up a cigarette, and Sehyun Kim tells him to go ahead and yell at him just like he did yesterday. Sehyun Kim apologizes, admitting he doesn't know what he is thinking and that he shouldn't have acted that way. Chang Dong-choi finds this strange. Sehyun Kim asks what's strange. Chang Dong-choi points out that he's the one hitting Sehyun, so why is Sehyun apologizing to him? He slaps Sehyun and tosses the cigarette on the floor, instructing him to pick it up. Sehyun Kim asks if Chang Dong-choi isn't done with it. Chang Dong-choi insists that Sehyun should do it. Sehyun Kim crawls to retrieve the cigarette. At that moment, Da-hyun arrives and asks what he is doing. He ponders what he should do. She repeats her question, asking what he is doing. He considers what he should tell her. Chang Dong-choi then inquires, "Who's this?" Sehyun Kim identifies her as his little sister. Chang Dong-choi asks if he has a little sister, to which Sehyun Kim confirms. Chang Dong-choi explains to Da-hyun that it's all a misunderstanding. He was smoking, and Sehyun was just picking up the cigarette he had thrown. He clarifies that he doesn't want to catch Sehyun smoking and asks Sehyun if that's correct, to which Sehyun agrees. Da-hyun asks if it's really true. Chang Dong-choi leads him away, stating that he should not misunderstand the situation. Sometime later, he remarks, "That was a close one." Sehyun Kim agrees, saying yeah. He asks if Sehyun isn't grateful that he covered for him. Sehyun Kim responds with a sure. He then comments anyway, his sister must be pretty popular. Sehyun Kim expresses doubt, saying he doubts it. He notices his sister putting a garbage bag away and mentions that he'd like to become very good friends with her. Later on, Chang Dong-choi is urinating while Sehyun stands nearby. Changdong Choi expresses feeling a little hurt and asks why Sehyun didn't tell him he had a sister. He adds that he thought they shared everything as he knows. Sehyun Kim explains that it's not like he and his sister are close and she doesn't want him talking to her at school. He insists on being introduced to her. Sehyun Kim responds, stating that she's not great as she has poor grades just like him. He acknowledges his own poor grades and suggests they could go to the library together to study, emphasizing that they're friends and urging Sehyun to introduce him to her. Sehyun Kim questions why he wants to be introduced to her, stating that she truly isn't good. He responds by asking if Sehyun will be honest with him. Romantically, Kyu-ja exits the restroom and inquires about what was just said, remarking that it's going too far. Changdong Choi punches him in the face, claiming he scared him. He berates Kyu-ja, stating that he had warned him not to frighten him with his unattractive appearance. He kicks him and exclaims for sake, if he is in high school, at least look like a high school student. He questions how the hell he's only 18 years old and mentions that it makes him feel guilty whenever he beats him up. Additionally, he reminds him not to take things so seriously. Sehyun Kim witnesses the scene and calls out to him abusively. Changdong Choi turns and asks if he just called him with bad words. Sehyun Kim confirms, stating that he did. Changdong Choi moves towards him, expressing disbelief, and is about to punch him. However, he managed to hit him in the face before Changdong Choi could do anything. The scene shifts to a flashback as Kim Sehyun observes the card and questions if it's a silver card but wonders about its utility and the purpose of receiving such a reward. He expresses doubt that he could ever utilize this skill. The silver card is revealed to be an attack card labeled Boxing Jab, enabling him to execute a jab, a punch commonly used in boxing, with the current skill rank being F-Suinut. Returning to the present, the quest window notifies him that he executed a jab. Sehyun thinks to himself that he can't continue living like this and resolves to change and fight back. The quest window then informs him that a new quest has been created. Fight and defeat Changdong Choi 01, with the reward being 1 silver card and 1 bronze card. Sehyun recalls the earlier comment about a good lay and declares that he's going to confront Changdong Choi forcefully. The quest window confirms the initiation of the quest. Changdong Choi remarks that it is interesting and questions what the hell is happening at that moment. He prepares to fight again. Changdong Choi comments on how dramatic the situation is and asks if he watched a few tutorials on YouTube last night and if he truly wants to fight him. He proceeds to punch him again. The quest window notifies that he threw a jab. Changdong Choi falls down and inquires what this is all about, wondering if Sehyun secretly took boxing lessons or something, and if so, since when and why. He moves to attack Sehyun and states that he took up boxing specifically to fight him. Sehyun Kim continues to attack him repeatedly. The quest window notifies multiple times that he threw a jab. Kyu-ja expresses disbelief, stating that this is unbelievable. The quest window then notifies that the objective to fight and defeat Changdong Choi 11 has been completed, with the rewards being 1 silver card and 1 bronze card. Kyu-ja remarks that Sehyun knocked Changdong Choi out. The quest window announces that the quest is complete and Sehyun's jab skill level has increased. Changdong Choi lies on the ground and Kyu-ja asks if he killed him. Sehyun assures him that he's probably just unconscious and moves to check on him. He grabs Changdong Choi's hand and insists that now is not the time, they must run. Sehyun Kim tells him to stop speaking with such gravitas. After a while, they sit near a construction site. Sehyun Kim remarks that they were able to escape. Kyu-ja comments that this is only the beginning. He agrees, mentioning that their classmates must be in an uproar. Kyu-ja adds that the entire school is probably in an uproar because those guys are intimidating, always moving in a group. Changdong Choi searches for them and asks where they are. Sehyun asks if he will be able to continue attending school, expressing concern that they will be targeted for beatings during every break. Kyu-ja asks when Sehyun learned boxing. He explained that he had just watched new tube videos and practiced by himself. Kyu-ja questions if he can do that. He responds that he supposes so and recalls a notification he had never seen before. He wonders what it means that his skill level has increased and what will happen if he reaches 100. He suggests that he should see what rewards he received. Kyu-ja asks about the rewards. He dismisses his previous statement, explaining that he was merely talking to himself and speculates that perhaps other people cannot see it. He reiterates that he doesn't need a kiss from Kyuja-ya. Kyuja-ya questions if he's feeling lonely. In response, he decides that he might as well take a look now and suggests they see. He is surprised to see the card and wonders how this is possible. Karen Beek approaches with other girls, calling out to them and inquiring about their activities. Kyuja-ya remarks that they are in trouble. Soo-hyun tells him to stop speaking with such seriousness and assumes that Karen Beek has also been searching for him. She approaches Soo-hyun and asks what he has been doing, and assumes that Karen Beek has also been searching for him. She approaches Soo-hyun and asks what he has been doing, informing him that everyone is currently looking for him. He questions if it's true and wonders if she wasn't trying to find him for Changdong Choi. He admits that he somehow ended up fighting Changdong Choi. She decides to pretend she never saw him there and instructs him to go home. After a while, they both get caught. A boy asks if it is him, and if he is sure. Soo-hyun Kim wonders what he should do. Changdong Choi questions if he got beaten up by a weakling like him. He thinks he is scared. Two boys surround Kyuja-ya, and one boy remarks that he has got to be kidding him. The other asks if he passed out from being punched by this guy. Kyuja-ya tells them all to stop. He hits him and commands him to shut his damn mouth. The other classmates stand near the door. Changdong Choi demands to know what they all are looking at and what they want, telling them to get out there unless they want to get beaten too. He asks what they want to do now, if they want to fight him too or fight instead of him. Soo-hyun wonders what he should do, thinking he might as well let them hit him now. If he keeps stalling, that guy might show up, the beast who used his boxing skills to get all the seniors to fall in line as soon as he transferred to this school. He contemplates the possibility that Ha Jun-gu, the top dog of West Gangbok High, rumored to have never lost a fight, might be on his way here. Ha Jun-gu arrives and inquires about the situation. A boy turns and identifies him as Ha Jun-gu, informing him that Changdong Choi was beaten up in the bathroom and passed out. Ha Jun-gu asks who Changdong Choi is. Changdong Choi points to himself and acknowledges that he is Changdong Choi. Ha Jun-gu notices Soo-hyun Kim and asks if he is the one who hit Changdong Choi. Changdong Choi confirms, stating that Soo-hyun punched him. Ha Jun-gu instructs Soo-hyun to raise his head. Soo-hyun complies and lifts his head. Ha Jun-gu questions if Soo-hyun hit these guys. Soo-hyun affirms, saying yes. He asks why he did it. Soo-hyun Kim explains that he started it by insulting his family. He asks if that's all and comments that Soo-hyun apparently packs quite a punch, then hits him. Soo-hyun holds his hand and mentions that he heard Soo-hyun took up boxing, so he should try hitting him. Soo-hyun clarifies that he didn't actually take up boxing. Changdong Choi asks why he didn't want to. Ha Jun-gu asks if he should hit him then. Soo-hyun wonders what he should do if Ha Jun-gu wants him to hit him, and if he's actually supposed to. He says it's okay, if he can land a hit on him, he will let it go. Soo-hyun considers what will happen after he hits him, and if he will be the one who ultimately gets beaten up. Ha Jun-gu assures him that he promises. He ponders what he should do and considers the cards he received after the last quest. He sees the cards and contemplates if he can use the new cards he has now. He thinks that the hit those high notes card does not seem appropriate for this situation, but the healing bean might come in handy. If he uses it, it will restore his stamina, but he wonders if restoring his stamina will change anything. Ha Jun-gu interrupts, insisting he said to hit him. He thinks that even if his stamina is restored, there's no way he could win against him. He considers his options, realizing that whether he hits him or not, he's going to get beaten up. He decides that since he's going to get beaten up either way, he might as well try hitting him. He throws a jab, but Ha Jun-gu moves aside. He realizes that Ha Jun-gu dodged it and attempts to punch him again and again, but Ha Jun-gu protects himself and throws him away. Soo-hyun lies on the ground, opens his eyes, and realizes he passed out. He concludes that Ha Jun-gu dodged his jab, and then he passed out from a single punch. He understands the situation. He is absolutely screwed. He had actually tried to hit Ha Jun-gu, and there was no way Ha Jun-gu would let him live after that. Soo-hyun imagines Ha Jun-gu ripping him apart and feeding his remains to wild dogs. He covers his face. Ha Jun-gu asks what he is doing. Soo-hyun responds that he is waiting for Ha Jun-gu to hit him, wanting at least some control over how his life will end. Ha Jun-gu asks why he would do that and suggests they go for a smoke. Soo-hyun is shocked to hear this. After a while, outside the school, all the boys are smoking. A gray-haired boy asks what happened to her. The black-haired boy replies that he got her number. Sehyun Kim stands between them, wondering what the hell is happening right now. The gray-haired boy suggests asking her if she wants to go for a beer. Sehyun wonders why he brought him here. Hajun-gu offers him a cigarette and asks what he is waiting for, telling him to take it. Sehyun realizes what's going on. Hajun-gu is going to beat him up out here. He refuses, stating that he doesn't smoke. He figured out that Hajun-gu had brought him out here since he couldn't hit him in the classroom. The rumors were true. This guy is the worst. Hajun-gu asks for his name. Sehyun introduces himself as Sehyun Kim. Hajun-gu apologizes, admitting that Sehyun was better than he thought, and he ends up fighting back out of reflex. Sehyun is shocked to hear this apology. Hajun-gu continues, saying that he has boxed for quite a while too and thinks Sehyun has potential. Sehyun realizes that Hajun-gu is complimenting him now. After a while, Sehyun lies on his bed at home and ponders about Hajun-gu's behavior. He wonders what Hajun-gu's deal is. He had heard that Hajun-gu was a really scary guy, but he apologized to him and even paid him a compliment. Sehyun considers that Hajun-gu even spoke to him politely, making him question if Hajun-gu is not like all those rumors claim he is. He asks what if Hajun-gu beats him up tomorrow, finding the situation frustrating. The quest window notifies him that there are no quests in progress. Sehyun remarks that he never thought he'd get mixed up with Hajun-gu because of these quests and questions who's assigning these quests. He reflects on the fact that it says these are all still tutorial quests and wonders if that's why they are giving out so many cards and if the main quests are a separate category. He discusses the cards he has received so far, gold, silver and bronze cards, and wonders how good the cards that are even better are and if they are higher in level than gold. Sehyun also notes that the abilities granted by the cards are strange and observes that all the cards he has received so far are related to fighting. The scene shifts to the next day. Sehyun Kim sits in the classroom with Kyuja. Kyuja remarks that Hajun-gu is quiet. Sehyun agrees, stating that he thought Hajun-gu would pummel him as soon as he got to school. He wonders if Hajun-gu wants to catch him completely off guard before he confronts him. Changdong Choi calls Sehyun, approaches him, and declares, here he is. Sehyun prepares for a fight and asks what Changdong Choi wants, wondering if he needs to fight him. Changdong Choi responds that it's not about fighting and explains that Hajun-gu wants to see Sehyun after school. He starts to leave and asks if Sehyun got it. Sehyun tells him to wait. Kyuja remarks that the end is nigh. Sehyun asks if Hajun-gu wants to see him after school, implying that he wants Sehyun to quake in fear all day. He asks Kyuja what they should do. Kyuja responds that there's no other way. If they run, it will only get worse the next day. He suggests that the best option is to meet Hajun-gu today and get it over with. After a while, he arrives at Won Music Town and sees Hajun-gu sitting with his friends, feeling scared. Hajun-gu tells him to sit. Sehyun agrees and thinks there's alcohol everywhere, so this is what these people do whenever they hang out. All the popular girls from school are there as well. A short-haired girl asks who he is. The other girl says she has no idea. He wonders if Hajun-gu is going to publicly shame him in front of everyone here and how he should react in this situation to ensure he gets beaten as little as possible. Karen Beek asks him what he's doing there. He explains that Hajun told him to come here and realizes that she's there too. Hajun-gu suggests that since he's there, he should sing something. A boy mentions that Hajun wants him to sing. Sehyun Kim thinks he is a bad singer and doesn't know what to do. He asks what he should sing. Hajun-gu remarks on how he's freaking out. Sehyun Kim thinks that if he refuses, he might ruin the mood, so he decides to give it a try since he has this card. The system notifies that he used the Hit Those High Notes card. He starts singing, and everyone is surprised to hear his voice and likes it. Sehyun Kim expresses gratitude to everyone, saying they are too kind, and wonders if he was that good. Karen Beek remarks that she thought he'd sing a song from an anime or something, and is surprised he didn't. The other girl laughs and mentions those high notes. The short-haired girl comments that he's kinda cute though, admitting she was so surprised. A boy asks Hajun-gu if he can sing that song. The other boy also says of course he can, it's easy. Sehyun agrees, calling himself a tone-deaf idiot. The other boys laugh and comment about tone deafness, saying his voice is like nails on a chalkboard. A girl asks who he is. The other girl responds that he's apparently a friend of Hajun's, adding that she has never seen Hajun bring a friend before. Soo-hyun introduces himself as Soo-hyun Kim. She asks him to sing another song for them. Soo-hyun wonders if Hajun is not going to hit him. The boys surround him, and a boy asks if he can sing a dance song. Soo-hyun agrees, saying for sure. The other boy comments that he is quite the party animal. Soo-hyun realizes that the rumors are wrong and turns to ask Hajun what's about him. Hajun-gu reassures him that he is fine and should have fun. Soo-hyun thinks that Hajun was a good guy all along. The scene shifts to the next day. Soo-hyun Kim announces that he is off to school and reflects on how it's the first time he's been excited about going to school. He thinks he was doomed for sure before. He marvels at the fact that Hajun would call him a friend, believing that life at school is going to be a breeze from now on, especially since Hajun said to let him know if anything bad happened. Soo-hyun believes everything has been going great ever since he started these quests. The quest window notifies him that there are no quests in progress. He concludes that he doesn't need to worry about bullies anymore and resolves to ask Hajun to protect Kyuja too. Just then, Hajun-gu arrives and calls out to him, asking if he's just getting in now. Soo-hyun asks if Hajun is just coming to school now too. He confirms and suggests they head in together. The quest window notifies that the main quest is starting. Soo-hyun thinks the tutorial quests are over, so he will be getting main quests from now on and wonders about the rewards. The quest window notifies that upon completion of his first main quest, as a special reward, he will receive a platinum card. Soo-hyun realizes that it's a higher level than gold and wonders if that means the quest will be that much harder, but he decides it doesn't matter. Hajun-gu asks what he is doing, and Soo-hyun thinks that whatever it is, he will complete it. Hajun-gu tells him to come on, let's go. The quest window notifies that the task is to fight and defeat Hajun-gu, the top dog of West Gangbuk High, with 0 out of 1 completed. The time remaining to complete the task is 3 days, and the reward is 1 platinum card. Soo-hyun thinks he knows some of the rumors about Hajun may be exaggerated, but he's still the top dog at school. Soo-hyun is supposed to win a fight against him in the next 3 days. He remembers the boxing jab attack cards. He thinks this skill didn't even work. Hajun-gu asks if he has something he wants to say. Soo-hyun wonders what to do. The quest window notifies that as the main quest progresses, side quests are activated, and he can now earn more cards. He ponders why things have been going so well. There's a time limit, so if he doesn't beat him in a fight in 3 days, he will fail the quest, and there is no way he could beat him. After a while, he sits eating food and wonders what to do. He became friends with Hajun thanks to these quests, and just as it finally seemed like he'd be able to enjoy normal school life, he was now being asked to beat him in a fight. He contemplates defeating Hajun-gu, the top dog of West Gangbuk High. Kyuja also sits with them, and says to Soo-hyun that he feels like he is getting indigestion. Soo-hyun Kim thinks this situation is so awkward, there might be bad rumors about him. Kyuja whispers, asking why Hajun is eating lunch with them. Soo-hyun explains that Hajun likes hanging out with him, and he actually thinks Hajun is a good guy. He wonders why he has to fight someone who's being so nice to him. Hajun-gu stands up and says he is leaving first. Soo-hyun responds okay and tells Kyuja that it's easy. Kyuja asks if he is saying he is easy and what he is going to do to him. Soo-hyun says, please shut up, and thinks he won't do it. He just needs to give up on this quest. He believes he has Hajun in his corner, and with him, his life at school will be a breeze. There's no reason for him to pick a fight with Hajun. He thinks his goal is to have a normal school life, and if he were to pick a fight with Hajun and lose, not only would he lose all his He thinks his goal is to have a normal school life, and if he were to pick a fight with Hajun and lose, not only would he lose all his rewards, but he'd lose Hajun too. So he might as well just give up on this quest now. After a while, Soo-hyun Kim calls Hajun and informs him that he is there and believes they will be best friends forever. Hajun-gu smashes Changdong Choi's face against the wall while apologizing. Hajun-gu asks him what for and bangs his face against the wall again. Soo-hyun Kim is shocked to see this and wonders what the hell is going on. He apologizes. Karen Beat comes up behind him and asks if he thinks he is a good guy. He says that's the kind of guy he really is. She asks if he knows why he's getting his ass beaten. Soo-hyun Kim asks why he is. She says it was because he did not pay up enough. He asks about paying what. She says he knows what, the money those bullies collect from everyone else at school. He says yeah, he pays them too. She reveals that all the money goes into Hajun-gu's pocket, and he coerces others to do his dirty work, keeping all the money for himself. She says it seems like Hajun-gu has been nice to him lately, but he should realize what kind of guy he really is. She moves from there and says she will be going then. Hajun-gu turns to him and asks when he got there. He says he just arrived and wanted to ask him something, then asks why he is being so nice to him. Hajun-gu says, well, obviously, it's because he is good at boxing. He adds that before he met him, he was surrounded by weak idiots. Sehyun thinks that's what it was. Hajun only liked him. He asks why he asked him that. He replies that he is just curious and thinks that because he believes he is a good fighter, if he gives up on this quest, he will lose the ability to throw jabs. One day, he will discover that he is not a good fighter and start treating him like dirt. Hajun asks what it is and if something happened. He says it's fine, so he should tell him. Sehyun says he just feels like crying, that's all bad. After a while, he practices at night. The quest window notifies him that he threw a jab. He thinks he will give it a shot. He can't go back to how things were before, and he can't just give up. He wonders how he can beat him, considering the jab did not work on him that time, and if he will be able to beat him with just that. He realizes he has more cards. The healing begins, and he hits those high notes cards. He thinks that he can beat Hajun with these. Just then, some students come there, and Sangcheol says, excuse him, and asks if he is a high school student by any chance. Sehyun says yes, he is. Sangcheol says he sees they do not have any money for the bus and asks if he can lend them some. Sehyun Kim apologizes but says he does not have any money. Sangcheol says he sees he is clueless and he is telling him to hand over all his money. Sehyun scratches his head and says, but he actually doesn't have any money. Sangcheol moves to attack him and says he guesses they have to beat it out of him. Sehyun punches him, and the quest window notifies him that he has thrown a jab. He apologizes, stating that he reacted without thinking. Sangcheol remarks that he sees Sehyun as the type who likes to get in the first punch. The quest window notifies that his jab skill level has increased. He is surprised and thinks about his skill level, realizing it didn't increase after the previous time. It only goes up when he hits an opponent. The quest window notifies congratulations, and his jab is now at E rank. He realizes his jab is at E rank, understanding that the more he levels it up, congratulations, and his jab is now at E rank. He realizes his jab is at E rank, understanding that the more he levels it up, the stronger he will become. Sangcheol once again moves to strike, easily distracted. Sehyun Kim hits him repeatedly, noting it feels different from before, faster and stronger. At this rate, he might have a chance against Hajun. He asks what the others are doing and tells them to get him. Sehyun wonders what he should do now. The quest window notifies that a side quest has been created, to fight and defeat thugs, with a reward of 1 silver card, and there are hidden conditions. He asks if this is the side quest mentioned before and wonders what the hidden condition might be. The quest window notifies him that he can forfeit the side quest. He asks if he can, and then of course he will give up. They all move to attack him. Sehyun wonders why he should give up and how he can give up now. The quest window notifies that the side quest has started. He admits he is terrified and wonders when he can get a card out of it. The quest window notifies that he has used the hit those high notes card. Sangcheol asks if he has some boxing experience. Sehyun Kim responds that he can handle it. There are only 5 opponents. He moves to attack Sangcheol. Sehyun Kim wonders how he's going to beat all 5 of them. Even if they only slap him, it's still 5 against 1. He attacks Sangcheol, and the quest window notifies him that he threw a jab. He realizes all he can do is throw jabs. Sangcheol falls unconscious to the floor, and his friends call out to him. A boy asks what's wrong with Sangcheol. Sehyun Kim also wonders what's happening. Dongjin slaps Sangcheol's face, telling him to wake up. The black-haired boy remarks that Sangcheol won't open his eyes. Another boy says he's just playing around. The boy in the red shirt insists he's only pretending to be knocked out, and this can't be the end. The quest window notifies Sehyun that he needs to fight and defeat Thugs 15. Sangcheol's friend mentions their hopes and dreams, as well as the promises they made to each other. Sehyun Kim wonders if he has killed Sangcheol. The boys tell him to shut up. The others say he's just unconscious from being punched in the chin. Sehyun Kim thinks that if someone receives a blow to the chin, they pass out. Dongjin urges them to hurry up and get that idiot, pointing at Sehyun. He realizes he really needs to focus now. Somehow, he was able to knock one of them out. They remove their jackets and move to fight. A boy says he's dead. Another asks if he knows what a nice guy Sangcheol is. Sehyun Kim thinks there are still 4 of them left and decides to run from there. Dongjin says to catch that idiot and let's avenge Sangcheol. Sehyun Kim says Sangcheol's not dead and suggests they run away for now. He knows the moment he is surrounded, he is in trouble and needs to think through how to fight them. He suggests they all rush him at once. Sehyun Kim looks for a place where he can take them all on by himself and heads towards a less spacious area. Dongjin asks what's up with this idiot and says look at this fool. He questions whether hiding in there is going to solve anything. Sehyun Kim realizes he's found it. Here he can fight them one at a time, but now he's all tired out. He acknowledges he looks exhausted and asks if he really appears to be a boxer. The other boys comment that he's weak as an idiot, guessing that throwing jabs is the only thing this guy can do. Sehyun Kim eats a bean. The quest window notifies him that he has used the healing bean and his stamina has been restored. Dongjin tells them to get out of his way as they're scared of this weak idiot. He moves to attack Sehyun, saying this is for Sangcheol. Sehyun Kim attacks him again and again. The quest window notifies him that he has thrown a jab. A boy asks what the hell is up with that guy, remarking that he thought he was about to keel over. Sehyun Kim realizes it worked. He is definitely used to throwing jabs now, and he has complete control of his attacks. At this rate, he has a fighting chance against Hajun. The quest window notifies that the task is to fight and defeat Thugs 25. The other boy mentions that Dongjin got caught too. They were both full of hopes and dreams. Another boy says Sanction will be waiting for Dongjin. The quest window notifies that he used to hit those high notes cards and has fought and defeated Thugs 35. He decides to aim for the chin and attacks the others as well. The quest window notifies him that he needs to fight and defeat Thugs 55, completing the side quest. He sits between them and declares that he did it. The quest window notifies that the hidden condition has been achieved. He inquires about the hidden condition of achievement. The quest window notifies that winning without receiving a single blow from the enemy achieved, congratulating him for unlocking the hidden achievement. He has received a gold card. He realizes he ran because he thought he'd be done for if they hit him, but that was a hidden achievement of the quest, and his reward was upgraded. He claims the card and thinks he is so lucky. The quest window notifies that he has claimed the gold card. He plans to claim it immediately. He holds the card, surprised to see what is written on it, and wonders what it means. The scene shifts to the next day. Sehyun Kim sits in the classroom, and the quest window notifies him to fight and defeat Hajun-gu, the top dog of West Gangbuk Haizo 1. The reward is 1 platinum card, and the deadline is 0802 to complete the task. He realizes it's already been 3 days, and he only has 8 hours left to beat Hajun. He considers the cards he has, the E-rank jab, the healing bean, and hits those high notes, and with the new gold card he received, he has 4 in total. He wonders if he can win with these against Hajun-gu, who apparently has never lost a fight. He corrects himself, thinking he has to win. If he doesn't, his life will go back to how it was before. Kyuja-ya sits beside him and asks if he wants a kiss. He demands to know who Kyuja-ya is. Kyuja-ya remarks that he seems upset and asks if something is wrong. He acknowledges that he needs to protect Kyuja, recalling how Kyuja would always get beat up instead of him and help him out, especially when it came to matters concerning Hajun-gu. He reflects on how Kyuja even took beatings in his place, proving to be a truly great friend. Kyuja-ya asks about Hajun-gu. He brushes it off, saying it's nothing to worry about, and realizes he has never properly thanked Kyuja. He seizes this opportunity to express gratitude, saying thanks for everything, though it feels like he's heading to his death. Kyuja-ya asks what he is talking about. Sehyun sees Hajun-gu approaching them and realizes he's here. Hajun-gu asks what they are up to and suggests going to the snack shop. He wonders how he can fight him and considers just asking him for a fight. He stands up and agrees, but inwardly admits he's too scared to do so. For now, he'll just go to the snack shop with him. Just then, a boy approaches from the side, talking with a girl while holding an ice cream. Suddenly, he accidentally bumps the ice cream into Hajun-gu's shirt, apologizing immediately and asking who he is. Sehyun Kim is scared to recognize him. Hajun-gu grabbed him by the shirt and told him to wait a minute as they went to the snack shop. Sehyeon Kim moves forward to confront him, thinking that an idiot like him deserves a beating, and that must be why he is receiving these cards. Hajun-gu asks if he is talking to him. Sehyeon Kim again insults him and asserts that he is indeed speaking to him. While he may not believe in himself, he believes in the gold card he recently acquired. He warns Hajun to open his mouth because he is going to shove new moves down his gullet. He thinks alright, he will fight just like he practiced. Hajun-gu pats him on the head and says he is a loyal guy, asking if he gets angry because he hit someone in his class. He responds with a no, saying he was just talking. Hajun-gu insists Hajun-gu pats him on the head and says he is a loyal guy, asking if he gets angry because he hit someone in his class. He responds with a no, saying he was just talking. Hajun-gu insists they should not fight. They are friends, so they should chill out. He holds him by his neck and suggests they go to the snack shop. Sehyeon Kim thinks this is not how it was supposed to go. After a while, two girls sit in the playground gossiping. A girl in a black jacket asks if she has heard. The girl in the white shirt says no and asks what she heard. She responds that two people almost got into a fight. The other girl asks who did. She says that someone apparently tried to provoke Hajun-gu. She asks who would do something like that. She says it was Sehyeon Kim. She asks how he is still alive. She says Hajun said he would not fight him. Sehyeon Kim sits aside and thinks he didn't think he'd apologize, and now what does he do? The other girl says it seems like the rumors are true. They are friends, and Hajun-gu is nice to his friends. Sehyeon Kim thinks it seems like Hajun really thinks of him as a friend, and he's incredibly violent and surrounded by bad rumors, but Hajun definitely does like him. He thinks there is not much time left to complete the quest, and at this rate, it might all be over before he can even begin. Kuja-ya also sits with him and asks if something is bothering him. He responds, yeah, because of Hajun-gu. Kuja-ya asks about Hajun-gu again, and if he is bullying him too. Sehyeon Kim says it's more like he will be getting bullied by him soon. Kuja-ya says he understands. Karen Beek arrives and mentions she heard the rumors going around in school. She asks why he tried to pick a fight with Hajun-gu, and if he was actually planning to fight him. Sehyeon Kim says he does not know. She says he is hilarious, and he actually got pissed off seeing him beat up that other kid in class. He denies it, saying that's not it, and asks why she hangs out with people like Hajun-gu. He reminds her that she helped him when Changdong was beating him up and told him that stuff about Hajun, asking if she was not doing all that to help him out. He adds that, come to think of it, even though she hangs out with them, she does not bully anyone, and she seems like a nice person. She says hanging out with them makes his life easier and asks if he expected a different answer. He says he sees and tries to say something, but she interrupts and says he crossed the line. She tells him not to get overly friendly just because she talked to him a couple of times. He apologizes, saying he thought they were friends now or something. She stands up and asks if he can't control himself. She says she knows she is attractive. Just then, a student comes calling Sehyeon and says they have a big problem and that now's not the time to sit around. Sehyeon asks what it is. Meanwhile, some bad students are poking Kuja-ya. A brown-haired student tells him not to make him laugh and asks if he heard him right and what did he say. Kuja-ya says he said to call Hajun-gu over here. He asks if he calls and if Hajun is supposed to come running. Kuja-ya says he feels like he has seen him before. The other student agrees and asks where he saw him before. Another student asks if he is not the kid who follows Sehyeon around. Kuja-ya confirms, saying yes, Sehyeon, the little idiot. He taps his face and asks now if Sehyeon and Hajun are friends. He thinks he is Hajun's friend too. He moves to attack him and says, first of all, he does not even look like a student. Hajun-gu arrives and says to get out of his way and asks why they are looking for him. He asks what they want. Kuja-ya says to stop harassing Sehyeon. Hajun-gu asks what. Kuja-ya repeats, saying he said to stop harassing Sehyeon, making him tag along with him because he's strong. That's basically the same thing as harassing him. Hajun-gu is punched by him, and everyone is shocked to witness this. He is seated nearby, stating that he and Sehyeon are friends, and he does not appreciate people like him. He strikes him again, emphasizing that he doesn't appear genuine. There exist different tiers of individuals in this world, and he should associate with those of his own caliber. He questions if he believes he is harassing Sehyun and asserts that he is the one who is harassing him. He urges him to cease spending time with Sehyun, claiming it brings him down to his level. Kyuja suggests that if that's the sole reason he considers Sehyun a friend, he probably doesn't consider